Now you might want to have to watch this, because at the end of this video you will have confidence and you'll stop worrying about life, because you will now learn how to trust and have faith in God. So when I say to trust and have faith in God, so most of you have already labeled me as a Christian, but I only use the word God to communicate something different, because God is not really a man up in the skies waiting to judge everyone. God is a frequency, and that is the frequency of creation. That is the frequency of abundance, and God is the most high. God is the highest frequency accessible to man, and that is the frequency of enlightenment. So what I simply mean is, by the end of this video, you will become, or you will have a guide towards becoming enlightened, or opening a portal towards enlightenment, which will bring peace, relaxation, calmness, and bliss in your life. And that is simply what you need for you to actually have a very best experience of your life here on this realm. So when I say for you to trust and believe in God, I will be explaining one universal principle known as the principle of rhythm. So before I start with the principle of rhythm, let me explain what universal principles actually mean. So this universe has what we call set principles, set rules, set laws that actually govern how reality is manifested. So he who understands these laws, these principles, and makes them or uses these principles will ascend, will become one with the infinite, and he will cease to struggle with life, and instead he will go with the flow of life, or he will be aligned to the life force that is in this dimension. So let's talk about the principle of rhythm. So the principle of rhythm simply states that everything has a flow and an ebb. Everything has a flow and an ebb. Okay, and the what we say, and the flow to the left will be equal to the flow to the right. So the law of rhythm actually compensates. This is more of saying that everything has its own specific rhythm or time to happen. The same way we have a time whereby there is giving birth, there is bringing of the child, and then there is decaying. That is as a rhythm. Yeah, it is something which is like cyclical. We have a time whereby kingdoms rise, they become dominant, and then they collapse. Even the so-called United States of America, it will come a time whereby they will crumble, and then another system will come, it will be dominant, and then it will also crumble. That is simply how the universe simply works. It works in rhythms. Look at the four seasons: winter, spring, summer, autumn. They are always in a rhythm kind of way. Nothing simply happens because it is happening, but everything actually follows the law of rhythm. And this can also be applied unto your experiences that you are having. So right now you can really feel that you are having a really miserable experience here on earth. You could really feel that things are not really working for you. You are at the lowest point that you could be. But don't forget that that is the principle of rhythm at work. So at this moment, the principle of rhythm has taken you to the farthest end. Okay, so it will also take you to the opposite end. Remember, the measure to the left is equal to the measure to the right. So depending upon the content of suffering that you are feeling right now will be compensated, because rhythm always compensates, because the earth, the universe, is a place of balance. So if you are experiencing more suffering, it could mean one of two things. It could mean that an impending joy is awaiting you, either in this life or in the next, because the principle of rhythm is not only constrained to this life, it is constrained to all of your incarnations. So if right now you're experiencing a lot of difficulty, so much difficulty that you even wonder, are you even cast? This could mean that in your past life or in your next life, you could be now, you lived a very lavish lifestyle, you had everything which you need to have. Or it could also mean that in a time, it will come a time in this lifetime that you will now be compensated of what you've been going through. That is simply the principle of rhythm. So the next time, the next moment that things are going as if they are worse, things are not working for you, don't panic. Be in stillness. Be confident that this is just the principle of rhythm and it's doing its work. And if you'd like for me to dig into more of the universal principles, because we have 7 hermetic universal principles, if you'd love me to go deep into them, please comment on the video and tell me if you'd wish me to do that. And if you also want to work one-on-one with me in our online coaching sessions, please message me the word interested in the email or the WhatsApp number on the description of this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay out.